What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is day 5 of the 3rd annual 10 Days of Pumpkin here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Saranac Brewery, and they are under the Brewing Company umbrella, and this is their pumpkin ale. So this is a pumpkin ale that is brewed with real pumpkin, cinnamon, allspice, clove, and ginger. It comes in at 5.3% alcohol by volume, 15 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is just over 2 months old. So, Saranac, I've only reviewed one other beer from them on the channel, which to me is still crazy because Saranac helped get me into craft beer back about 11 years ago. I got into craft beer late 2009, early 2010, and them, along with the Boston Beer Company, aka Samuel Adams, really made it easier for me and cost efficient to get into craft beer back then, because back then you just couldn't get, single cans and bottles all over the place. There's only a couple places locally. You couldn't really get mixed 6-packs. You had to buy either entire 6-packs or sometimes 12-packs. So I would purchase their variety packs, and allowed me to be introduced to styles that I would normally buy. And, they're not always the best within the style, but they're always pretty much well brewed. And I've had, 50, 60 different Saranac beers in my life, and I've enjoyed the vast majority of them, some of them not that great, but I will always hold a special place in my heart for Saranac and Sam Adams because of that. So this beer specifically was one of the first pumpkin ales I ever had. I think it was the second one. The first one was Buffalo Bill's Pumpkin Ale. We don't get that here anymore, Buffalo Bill's Pumpkin Ale, but I'd love to try that. Maybe next year I'll try to seek that out for the 10 Days of Pumpkin. But I figured I'd give this one a go. It's been probably 8 or 9 years since I've had it, probably 2011, 12. So it's been quite a while, but I thought we would revisit it, and here we are. So this is the 2020 offering. Like I said, real pumpkins. They use 4 spices. And yeah, let's crack it open. Ooh, big hiss off the top there. Definitely carbonated, and it definitely smells like pumpkin pie to some degree. Let's give it a pour here. So yeah, this is, now the color on this now, there's been a couple beers I've already reviewed for the 10 Days of Pumpkin that, color-wise don't look what I anticipate a pumpkin ale to look like. That looks like a pumpkin ale. In person, it has like this deep amber, almost copperish color, and that's pretty much what most pumpkin ales look like. Is this? It has a clarity to it. It's filtered, has some decent carbonation, has about a half finger of this lightly tan, like off-white head, and yeah, that just looks like a pumpkin ale to me. That's what I remember pumpkin ales looking like. So when I see something different nowadays, I'm kind of taken it back a little bit, just like, let's get a nose. Yeah, it smells like pumpkin pie filling. Not like super intense, but definitely there. Cinnamon and allspice. I'm getting a little bit of nutmeg. They say they don't use nutmeg, but it smells like it. The ginger and clove to some degree are there, but they're like kind of on the back of the palate. The back of the aroma. Back of the palate. I didn't even taste it yet. There's this like caramelized sugar, almost brown sugar-esque. I've been saying that a lot with pumpkin ales, but that's what I get. Like the base just has this like, it just has a sweeter malt base to it. Bready to some degree. Doesn't have like the graham cracker crust that a lot of people look for when you're looking for a pumpkin ale, because you want it to kind of taste like a pumpkin pie, but in alcoholic beer form. This doesn't have that pumpkin pie feeling. It's more the pie filling. But man, it smells delightful. It does. It smells pretty damn good. So let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. It's subtle, but it's nice. I'm tasting most of the spices. This is not too sweet. It's not too spice forward. Solid. I was worried about this one because I think it was yesterday I did the Smuttynose Pumpkin Ale, and that was one of the first pumpkin ales I ever had. Like that one, along with this and the Buffalo Bill's, like one of the first 3 or 4 that I had, and that was a very disappointing experience. Having it for the first time in a long time, it just didn't remind me of when I first had it. This is giving me vibes of when I first had the Saranac Pumpkin Ale. So first thing we'll go, body, mouthfeel. Body on this one's like lower side of medium to almost medium body. 5.3%. It's a little bit bigger than I anticipated. It's nice. The mouthfeel, what you want from a pumpkin ale. It has carbonation. It has a nice smoothness to it, but it's carbonated. It lets you know it's a beer. And I'm okay with it. I mentioned in a couple of the prior coffee pumpkin ales, I want the carbonation to be lighter in those and more like a soft, smooth, creamy vibe to it, because you're trying to replicate a pumpkin spice latte or pumpkin spice coffee. This one isn't. This is just a pumpkin ale, so I'm fine with the carbonation here. The flavors though, right forefront, bready, caramel, brown sugar, big malt presence, sweet at the tip of the tongue, pass through the palate, midway through the palate, like a third away through the palate. I'm starting to get that cinnamon, the allspice. I'm getting, in addition to cinnamon and allspice, I'm getting nutmeg. They're not using nutmeg, just probably, you know, my mind playing tricks on me in that regard. The ginger and clove are getting kind of lost. I could maybe, if I'm really looking for it, you kind of find it on the back of the palate, but not really. It's more cinnamon and allspice. It finishes semi-dry. Nice residual sweetness, but not too sweet. Definitely leans to the sweeter side, but there's enough of a semi-dry kind of finish. No bitter to speak of. I have the drying effect, and I get this a lot with pumpkin ales or anything that has cinnamon in it. It has like a cinnamon drying effect on the back of the palate. Can't detect the alcohol, 5.3%. Yeah, this is a man, this might be better than, it's better than I remember it being. Don't get me wrong, this is not, you know, a Night Owl or a, I think it's Stevens Point Whole Hog. I believe that's what it was. I tried to remember it when I was doing a prior review, but the Whole Hog, Night Owl, Pumpkin, beers like that to me are like, those are the kings of the pumpkin beers. For me, when you're talking about like an OG, just, you know, no frills. I guess pumpkin, not really because it's imperial. But if you're talking about like no coffee, no crazy shit, just here's pumpkin, some spices, and we have a base ale. Those beers are like upper echelon for me. This is an upper echelon, but for something that gets pretty good distribution and is relatively well priced. I mean, this is priced actually quite well. Yeah, there's nothing really wrong with this one. It's not super bold and in your face. It's not punching me in the face and, you know, 2x4 to the head. Shout out to Matt over Massive Beer Reviews with flavor. But it's pretty fucking good for what it is. So I'm going to give Saranac their pumpkin ale, the 2020 edition, a high 3.75 out of 5 and go 3.85 out of 5. Almost gets in the low 4 range. Not quite there. I think a little bit more flavor. This would be a definite 4. As is, though, 3.85 out of 5 is a pretty good score for a beer like this, especially when you take in consideration the price and availability. Maybe this gets to a 4. Availability, wherever you see Saranac, usually in the Northeast, definitely in New York, but in the Northeast, you should see Saranac stuff. And then price point. I believe 12 packs of this are like $14.99, so you're talking like just over $1 a bottle. Like, yeah, you know, when you're paying sometimes $3, $4, $5 for a bottle of a regular pumpkin ale, when you see something like this for like $1.20 a bottle, $1.25 a bottle, like, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat the value on this one. So if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, but with nice flavors, I think this one hits the spot. Definitely better than the Smuttynose one by a mile. I gave that one a 2.9. So revisiting some older pumpkin ales, this one definitely better than the Smuttynose, and I'm glad this one's tasty because I was hoping it would be. Saranac is, you know, like I said, one of my OG breweries when it comes to beer, and the fact that this one has held up well for my palate is pretty awesome. I'm happy about that. So if you've had this one before, whether it's this year's vintage or prior vintages, let me know what you think about it. What's your favorite pumpkin ale? Post in the comment section. That's what I like about doing all these beer reviews, especially the 10 Days of Pumpkin. So many people enjoy pumpkin beers, and then so many people hate them. So you get that love-hate relationship. So I'd like to hear people's feedbacks, especially if you drink and enjoy pumpkin ales. Let me know what you think about this one and any pumpkin ale in general. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Today was day 5. Tomorrow, day 6, I believe it's Elysian's Dark of the Moon, which is their pumpkin stout. It's been years again since I've had that one, and I'm really excited to kind of flip the script here and drink a pumpkin stout as opposed to just a regular pumpkin ale or a coffee pumpkin ale, and I'm looking forward to that one. So hopefully that one is quite delicious as well. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one, cheers.